Okay, Tuesday morning, October 31st, 2023, Halloween in USA, Virginia Beach, USA. So I'm gonna just take you for a walk down the oceanfront. It's not one of the most beautiful days, but this is a good filming opportunity because it's not often you see the storms out here, you know, the storms by the ocean, you know, so this might even be more unique than a sunshine walk. But I'm around the 9th Street and Atlantic Avenue on the oceanfront on the Virginia Beach Boardwalk, and I'm going to just go for a walk down to the Rudee Inlet, which is like 1st Street, 0 Street or something. And this is like, that's where where I used to surf when I used to live here. It's like some of the best breakers because there's like rocks there. It's like a rock inlet and it creates consistent waves with good form. So yeah, it'll be let's see how this will go. This is my first GoPro in America, you know, my first GoPro video. But I'm not sure where to, I guess I can show you here. So this is one of the longest boardwalks in the whole US, if not the world, like concrete boardwalks. And it goes all the way over there, like for miles and miles. You can see some people here cuddling on the beach in the face of a storm. We get some pretty nasty hurricanes and nor'easters here time to time. I mean, it's not like a sunshine paradise like Miami, but they even get hurricanes too. But it definitely gets chilly here in the winter. This has got like, I don't know, it's like they have some off days where it's warm, where you have some warm weather and everything like that. They're doing some public works here. I think they're getting ready for the Christmas show, which I mentioned in one of my videos. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Yeah, so, yeah, just, I think, what are they doing here? I'm just trying to see. Yeah, it looks like they're getting ready for a festival of some sort or another. There's lots of them. It's like one festival after another, Neptune Festival and Boardwalk Festival and just tons of them. So, yeah, it's good to be home. This is like, everyone asks me like where I'm from. Okay, so I'll tell you, I was born in Minnesota, lived there till I was 10. Then we moved to a small town in Wisconsin called Prairie du Chien. It's like a little town on where the Mississippi and I think the Wisconsin River meets. It's like two rivers meet there, and it was like a big fur trading post in the old days. You know, it was founded by the French. And then we moved to Chicago when I was like 13, 14. I went to high school in Chicago. Let's see, then I went to college in California for a year, Kansas for 4 years, came back to Chicago, worked, joined the Navy, back to Chicago, and then somehow ended up in Delaware of all places. I ended up here in the Navy. That's how I found Virginia Beach. So yeah, sorry to skip a step, but that's how I got here. When I was in the Navy, I was around 26, you know, made some money off of the tech stocks and bought a house out here. And then got into a little bit of real estate here on the side while I was in the Navy. And this just kind of became like the home base. So, you know, my mom lives out here. And I kind of, but I'm registered to vote in Delaware because that was the place I last lived for 6 months. You know, it was Delaware. And before I moved to Norway. So technically, I'm from Delaware because that's where I'm registered to vote. But then I have an apartment here, so I can be technically from here, but I didn't live here before I left. When you move overseas and you want to be an absentee voter, which is very different than a mail-in ballot, absentee has a pretty high bar for registration, verification. So they check where you lived for 6 months in a row before you left the country. And for me, that was Delaware. And then I had to go to the office there and show a bunch of ID, and then I'm in the system. So you log into a special voting system. You know, your email is registered to that. You fill out your ballot and you sign all these affidavits that it's really you. So I'm actually like registered to vote there. I get the absentee ballot. It's all legit. And that process has been around. That process has been around better part of 40 years. Now the mail-in ballots, that's something new, where you don't have this high bar for, you know, citizenship and registration. Like when I went to Delaware and got that voter registration done, I had to bring a lot of documents showing I'm a U.S. citizen and what have you. So, I mean, I think my birth certificate, I was born in Minnesota, so that just automatically makes you a citizen. But anyway, that's a little bit about my background. I've been all over the world. I lived in Sweden, I studied in Brazil, I went to University of Illinois in Chicago for a master's degree. I lived in Norway for about almost 10 years. And now I'm living in Ukraine. I lived in Estonia, somewhere in between there. And then while I was in the Navy, I lived in Tampa, Orlando. I lived in, here in Virginia Beach, obviously. I traveled all over the place. So it's, anyway. So when people ask where I'm from, or I'm going home, home is many places. Home is Lviv, Ukraine right now. Home is Virginia Beach, and home can be Delaware. Yeah, just gotta love this ocean. It's just really a lot of power here, And they do a lot to maintain this beach. You can see we pay some taxes here to live in the oceanfront area, and they give us this nice sand. I tried jogging on this. I have this friend I met, RJ. He's running like a marathon. Every time I see him on Facebook, he's running a marathon in a different place. He came to Ukraine, ran one. He runs them all over the U.S. Tell him if you need to slow down a bit, jog in the soft sand. That'll really tear you up. But and if you go far enough down that way, straight ahead, that's the headquarters of the U.S. Navy SEALs Tier 1 group called Development Group. And so they're all the way down at the end. You won't see them from here on this camera. I mean, you got to go down I think another couple kilometers, maybe 3 or 4 kilometers further, and then they're behind some woods and everything. But sometimes you see the helicopters and everything. You see them training out here and what have you. And then the other Navy SEAL teams are up at a place called Little Creek. If you go far enough up this way, they're all the way up there. So it's kind of cool. This is a really interesting sunrise video here. So, anyway, enough about myself. I just wanted to also reflect. When I was flying over, now I'm post jet lag. I've had 2 good nights of proper sleep and shook off that trip. That, like I said, something that used to be very easy is now, we're back in the old days. Back in the days, so just want to check and make sure the audio is working. I had to set the decibels a bit lower because of the wind, so I set it to -18 instead of -12 because it is fairly windy today. So here we are, we're at 5th Street. Every street has a marker like this. So I live close to 9th Street, Norfolk Avenue they call it. If you see one of my older videos, I actually walk from the apartment and set toes in the water here. But it's a bit cold and chilly right now. This is actually a good day for surfing, but I don't have a swim buddy or a surfboard. So, oh well. There are probably some guys out there in the chop. There are, because you got to be a strong swimmer. That's something I want for my daughter. I'm going to start her in swim lessons at 6 months. They have an infant swimming program in Lviv. One of my friends there, he's got his daughter in that and everything. And she started before she could walk. And it's good for kids, it gives the confidence. You got to give them exercises and things to do that build their self-confidence and self-belief, so they can always turn to themselves if something goes wrong and they're not getting into a situation where they latch onto a person who can misguide them. So you learn a lot of things like this in the military. I saw a lot of good parents, when I was in the Navy, because they're managing a lot of stress and, they really care about their kids' education and all of this kind of thing. And so they have a lot of time to think about what lessons they want to teach and, what kind of skills they want their kids to have. And, and mostly these life skills, soft skills, you got to build that up first. And then of course the technical skills, the math, the reading, but that's the easy part. that's easy to teach your kid how to read and, you know, how to do math problems, you know, how to handle themselves in a stressful situation or dealing with unknowns or dealing with adversity. Very few parents set their kids up to deal with those things, I think, these days. You know, they're more focused on just these measurables. You know, it's very easy to measure, you know, like by report cards, like academics or sports or something like that. But there's a whole other aspect, is the confidence. And I think that just comes from like giving them exercises where they make mistakes, where they fail, talking about it, you know, and then that way when they encounter something next time, they can draw on that experience. Experience is just really having made mistakes before, you know, having seen something before, having made a mistake, and then you know you'll do it different next time. You know, that's really, and people pay good money for experience, you know, school of hard knocks as they call it, you know. So yeah. So we went to the Virginia Beach Public Library yesterday. I went with my mom. You know, this Google-Fi internet thing where they give you $65 for 50 gigabytes. I don't know, they told me when I was talking to their support that like heavy usage, you know, like doing video conferences on Teams and heavy internet usage for work would be like 1 or 2 gigs a day. I think I'm burning up much more than that. I think I'm already through 8 or 9 gigs in just 2 days. So I don't know where all the data is going. And then it fluctuates. It's up and down, up and down. So I got this Cox internet. You know, they have like a Starlink, or they have some Wi-Fi like that reaches the whole town, or like comes through the cell service or something. But that was like $20 a week, so I bought that. And then I'm just keeping the Google-Fi on my phone, so I can just do emails and messages and keep up with work when I'm out here walking around when I should be at meetings, you know, type of thing. I don't know if I'll be able to work from the beach today, but like I said, it's a pretty rough day. All right, so this is all new since, you know, public showers and everything. I mean, yeah, this is all new here. This, you know, I don't know. I always been arguing with people that we need to build a college here on the oceanfront, like some Ivy League school. Like we have the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, which is like one of the top state schools in the country. And we could get a campus down here on this end, take away a few of these hotels and parking lots and build some nice campus here and have like a medical school or a law school here, or something like that, or liberal arts. It'd be really nice, you know, to have an educational institution. Now, that neighborhood there's some really big houses there. Those houses are like $5 million and up. You got lottery winners there, CEOs. I think even George Bush Jr.'s Attorney General John Ashcroft lives in this area. This is Croatan. And actually, I used to rent a mother-in-law suite apartment there. Like a lot of the houses are so big, they have like small apartments and they rent them out a lot of times to Navy officers. I was a junior Navy officer at the time, and you know, people like us because we're never home. You know, we're all deployed, or you know, and we don't tear up the place because they can just call the commanding officer and they could pretty much screw our careers if they wanted to. So I used to live actually in that neighborhood and met a lot of the people there, you know, really successful type people. I mean, some of them they got their success in questionable ways. I mean, there were little rumors you'd hear and everything, but one guy had made some electronic part and he got a military contract and, you know, made a fortune. And we were actually staying in his house during a hurricane, and the half of the wall came off. It was Hurricane Bonnie. This was back in the 90s, in like the late 90s, and half of the roof and everything just like flew off. The whole house was made with a drive-it, they call it. It was like some cardboard covered with plaster. It was like some really cheap building material, but you could build fast. Things would go up. You know, I'll just see if I can take a walk out on the rocks. So now this is like a playground right on the beach. Now the sand is getting in my eyes, but I want to give you guys a good view, you know. So yeah, I had been out here during the hurricanes back in the 90s. I don't know where the pictures went. They were all digital. And they're on a computer with a hard drive. The hard drive crashed. You know, this kind of things back in the day, as they say. But certainly some memories. Now, yeah, that side, I caught the best wave of my life over there. I got up on the board and I stood and I walked to the front, walked to the back, and was able to drive the board down. It was just one of the few times in my life. I think I actually paddled from there, and I was able to get it, and I was able to ride. And the wave was breaking just right. It was like continuous. I mean, these are like chop waves, so it's a little, I mean, there you can see some of them keep a consistent line. Like over there, you can get a nice line, and you can get some nice surf in. But other times they're just chop, and then you stand, and then the wave gets interrupted. And I'm not that good of a surfer. You know, I was able to get on a longboard and stand up and go straight. A few times I got turns in, like I got turns in over there. So you're not supposed to swim here, body surf, keep off the rocks. So you're supposed to keep off the rocks here. So yeah. So I mean, police enforced. You don't want to mess with the police here. Half of these guys are like ex-Navy SEALs, Green Berets and stuff. It's like, yeah, the Virginia Beach Police Department is probably one of the best equipped in the whole country. People don't know that. But they get a lot of ex-military people retiring here, and then they get bored and they want a second career. And being a cop here, it's really good. Now, yeah, this is cool. This is really cool. So anyway, I'll probably wind up here. I'm coming on like, yeah, 17 minutes, so these files get really big. You know, these get to be really big file sizes and everything. And I'll have to go home and, yeah, produce this video for you. So I'll just end it up here. Surfers are coming out, I think, checking the waves. Yeah. People also go fishing out here for marlin, dolphin, you know, all those kind of cool fish. But let's see. This is really, you know, when I used to live here, they didn't have this park and everything, and yeah, it's but you can see it's all surfer dudes here. So the bank, this is done by the bank. Town Bank. Actually, when I had my business here in Virginia Beach, I think I was with Town Bank. So yeah, they like surfers. I used to have a website company here called surfvb.com. I'll talk more about that in another video. Like, I was doing websites for a lot of these hotels and restaurants as a side hustle while I was in the Navy. And I am selling that business and moving to Sweden. You know, anyway, I'll talk more about that in the future. But yeah, come and visit Virginia Beach, you know, Oceanfront, but not on a day like this. A day like this is better to stay home and make videos or watch YouTube or something. But take care, and we'll see you.